Hi, my name is Rico.
And I am Jennifer. Let me tell you a little story about raising support for missions, okay?
Okay.
So a while ago, actually a couple of years ago, I had a friend of mine call me up, and I had not heard from this friend in years. I mean, just the longest time. In fact, I don't even think we were very tight. But suddenly they were calling me up and they said, I'd love to meet with you. I want to know how you're doing. I said, great. We met up, had some coffee, and I thought we were having a great time. You know, they asked me, how am I doing? How's family? And I said, great. And then they go, great. So I wanted to ask you for some money for something that I want to do. I said, what do you mean?
Just like that.
Just like that. And they're talking to me about they want to raise, money for this mission trip that they want to go on, but they want me to support them. First of all, I felt so betrayed, and I thought, that's not a way to open conversation or relationship with someone by
really
asking
awkward.
them for money. It's awkward. And I just said no, unfortunately. I wanted to help, but it just felt awkward. It felt ingenuine. I just didn't want to do that. But then at the same time, I had another friend call me as well.
Okay.
And this friend actually called me and said, hey, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I really wanted to reach out and let you know about this mission trip that I'm going to be going on. And I wanted to know if you would be able to help. I really would love to see you, and we can chat about it. Maybe you can think about it. And I thought that's great because I already knew what the intention was. I knew what they wanted to talk to me about. I wasn't blindsided by anything.
Yeah, they're upfront.
They were upfront. So we met up and we got talking. They definitely did ask me about, myself and how I'm doing and my family. And then we got straight into it. And that was something I was more, willing and open to support. And so this basically brings me to the point of the intention of your approach. Like how are you coming at someone when you are going to be asking for support, especially for missions and something that you want to do and that something you feel very strongly about. And that's exactly what we're going to get into, the nitty-gritty and the practical steps in how to do that.
Yeah, and we hope you watched the last video, because what's important is before we actually look at how to do it, we need to know what the biblical foundation is and what the biblical basis is for raising support as a missionary. So if you haven't watched that video, go and watch that video. We talked about that at length, but now we're getting into the practical. All right, so what is our first step, or what's the first tip you have for us?
Good question. This is basic, and the only honestly important thing you need to do, in my opinion, is pray. That's it. Make sure that you are talking to Jesus. As Rico mentioned in the previous video, it is actually a vertical relationship. You want to do that vertically. So talk to God first. It says in Philippians 4 verse 6, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And that is exactly what you should do. Spend that time talking to Jesus. Ask him how you should take this approach and who you should talk to and how you should talk to these people, and also lead you to the people that you need to be talking to. It's very simple.
It probably takes off a lot of pressure too, right?
It definitely does. Yes, then you don't need to be panicking about who to talk to, when to talk to, because God already knows what you need when you need it.
Okay, so I've prayed, I've asked God for how he's going to lead me in this. What do I do next?
The next step is people give to relationship. Would you not rather give to someone that you know and have a relationship with, rather than this random stranger that will come up to you in a shop, tell you a sad, soppy story, and then go, can you give me money? Who would you give money to?
I'd give money to the person that I know and trust.
Exactly. The first thing that is very practical to do is go through your phone. Go through your phone and then make a list of everyone that you know. That is friends, family, colleagues, your barber, my hairdresser, your dentist, anyone you think you can talk to, your Sunday school teacher, your neighbor. Just make a list and then, write all their numbers down. And then you reach out to them. All right.
Okay.
But when you reach out to them, make sure you are setting clear expectations and intentions.
What do you mean by that?
Don't just be like, hey, you want to go for a coffee? Without them knowing that you actually want to talk to them about missions and that you want to talk about support. And if that person would actually be interested in doing this or being a part of your financial support team. Because you don't want to just blindside people. That's uncomfortable and it's weird.
That makes sense.
Yep. So there are a couple of practical steps that you can take. You've got the list of people on your phone and you've got their numbers and everything else. And then you make an appointment with them. Ideally, it would be great, to meet them face to face. If that's not possible, you give them a call. If you can't give them a call, then you can send a text message And if you are maybe on social media and that's the best way you contact and talk to people, don't message somebody and say, hey, have you seen my post that I made? And then you ask them suddenly via social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Don't do that. That is not a great way to communicate with people when you're asking for help. The best would be to have that one-on-one contact.
Okay, so social media, if I use social media, it would just be to set up the appointment, not to actually talk through this stuff.
Don't do that, because that also takes away from something that's more relational and that's something that's more intimate. I know personally I get uncomfortable making just a phone call, even just to my dentist, but it's important to have that relationship and to have that personal communication with someone. That also makes the other person feel special
and appreciated.
Yeah.
All right, so how do we ask for money?
Okay, no, we don't do that here. See, support raising is not about asking people for money. Let me repeat that. Support raising is not about asking people for money. It's about casting a vision. You want to set it out there for them. You want to tell them why it's important that they support you. People are out there dying because they don't know Jesus. People are living lives without Jesus and their lives are empty, and you want to be a part of that mission. Like Isaiah said, here am I, send me. And you want to tell them like, hey, we're a part of this together. You want to give them the vision of Revelation 7 verse 9. After this, I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. So this really just means that you're inviting people to be a part of this mission. You want them to be a part of it, because there are some people who really cannot do it. They have obligations, family obligations. They might not physically be able to go. They might not have the time to go, but then here you are with the chance to do so. So you ask them to be a part of that. You can ask them to be a part of that and your support team financially, in that sense, where you get to be the hands and feet. Here I am, send me.
All right, so we've had the conversation, and I've probably unloaded a ton of information on you, right? If I were to get that kind of information, all this list of stuff that I need and everything, I would forget most of it.
Honestly, I would too. And that is why you write a letter.
Oh, okay.
You have prepared, before you got to that meeting, you have actually written something tangible out to give to the person that you've met with. Like I said, it's so important to meet with someone face to face. You have to have that relationship with them. But if you can't maybe meet with someone and you're maybe talking to them on the phone, you just mention and ask them, like maybe ask them for the email address, and you can email them this letter so that they have something that they can print and go through again later after you've had the conversation on the phone or you've met with them. So the first thing that you're going to have in your letter is going to be basically the cast your vision part. What are you going to do and how are you going to accomplish all of this and why this is important? That's the first thing you put in your letter.
Also, if we use the example of a guy going to India, it's like, I'm going to go to India to share the gospel.
Exactly. I'm going to India to share the gospel, to tell people about Jesus, how everyone needs to hear about Jesus. And it's important that you are a part of this and that we are a part of this together and be Jesus' hands and feet. The second thing that you need to put in your letter is to describe your need. So for example, if you need $950 for this entire trip that you need to go on, you tell them, I need to raise $950, and then you tell them what you will need this money for. Where is this money going? So that would be transport, lodging, food, and so on. So that they just know that you're not going to be using this money to go and buy yourself something cute and cotton on.
Makes sense.
You can actually even break it down in your letter and say maybe of the 950, you can have someone that can, donate $200, $3 $100, and then maybe $50. And that way people can see, okay, well, how can I give and where can I give and how does it make sense for me? So that they know it's not just an entire 950 that's very overwhelming for one person. When you see it, you can see, okay, well, this is not bad. We can break it up this way and I can make sense of this.
So then that means like a student could donate to you and a businessman could donate to you as well.
Exactly. So the next thing that you do is directly invite them to be a part of that vision. And that basically means asking them to pray about how God is expecting them or wanting them to be involved in this entire support.
Well, that's really cool, because then they get to be part of the mission because they've asked Jesus directly.
Vertically, exactly.
All right, so I'm part of it, I'm invested, and I want to give. What do I do? Do I give you cash? Do I give you a check? Who do I make the check out to?
Great question. And that is the next thing you put in your letter. You put the details of how you can give. So for example, in your letter, you can actually give the banking details of SIM and that they can also find on the website. In fact, in your email, you could actually attach the website and put a link there where they can go directly and then give directly on the website.
Okay.
And then finally, you physically sign it by hand. So you just leave a little space, you sign your name, and that gives it a personal touch. And then finally, your letter should not be longer than an entire page. So for me, I'm handing in CVs all the time to all kinds of companies. It's always best to keep everything on one page. You know, everyone can read it, it's quick, it's simple, and you're not wasting anyone's time, and they've got all the information they need. That's it.
That's all you need.
One page.
Great, so it's all done. I've got my money and everything's good now.
No. That's definitely not how it works.
Okay.
How would you like it if I just take a bunch of money from you and then leave? Not good, I bet.
Probably.
Exactly, and that is why you have to have a thank you note. Please don't forget to write a thank you note. And I'm saying write because everyone loves handwritten letters. And put a bit of effort in. You know, use nice paper if you can. Don't just use the stuff we get in, Pick and Pay. Good paper, and say thank you so much for your time and effort, because then the other person feels very appreciated and very valuable and important that someone's taken the time to actually thank them. In fact, that actually makes it gives you a higher chance of them actually wanting to give and be a part of the vision and the mission again the next time you want to ask them.
Okay.
So you won't forget the thank you note.
Being polite is good.
Being polite is good.
Okay, so here's one thing. What if I come to a church, I ask for donations, and someone gives a $2 here, $5, $10. No one's giving me the big amount that will actually support me.
Don't underestimate the power of just giving. That $2, that $10 can be probably all that person had, and to them that is everything. Also, don't forget, little bits and lots of little bits can add up to the bigger amount that your goal is, So don't think that if you keep getting $2 from someone or just $5 from someone every single week and that it's not going to be enough. It actually will be. If you have enough $5, you'll get to the amount that you need. Also, you want to be trustworthy. If someone, for example, gives you, like you sing in church, cash straight, and they can't directly deposit the money into the SIM account, and they give you the money just like that, you need to let them know that you're going to take that and you directly deposit it into the SIM account, and then you take that proof of payment back to the person if you would like. I think it would be great just to show them, hey, I've used this money for something good. I haven't just gone off and bought biltong or something for myself, even though it's just $5, and you want them to know I'm trustworthy. I think it's important just to keep all the proof of payments and just so you know you're keeping up with everything and you can show everyone where everything's going.
Okay.
The first thing you did was pray. That was the first bit of advice. And now the last thing to do is to pray. Exactly. Begins with prayer and ends with prayer. So you thank him for everything that he's done so far. You thank him for how he's provided in each and every single area. And then you also talk to him and tell him when you're feeling discouraged. You ask him what the next step is. And think about Philippians 4, the thanksgiving and prayer, present your requests before the Lord. And the peace that transcends all understanding will guard your hearts in Christ Jesus. So don't forget that. Take it back to Jesus and he's got you.
I'm definitely ready to go and raise support now.
I am too. I'm excited. I would be. If you're going on a mission trip.
All right, we really hope that this has helped you. First of all, get a biblical understanding of raising support, but also a practical step-by-step guide on how to do that. We pray that this has equipped you to raise support. And we also hope that you enjoy your time on the mission trip, that you passionately serve God and bring people to a knowledge of who He is.
Also, everything will be on the website, any other information that you might need. And then also, if you have any follow-up questions, you can definitely post them down in the comments below. We really hope that you're gonna have a great time on the mission trip and that you enjoy each and every second of it, and that we are praying that the Holy Spirit speaks to each and every single one of you and guides you in what to do, how to move, and how we are going to be disciples for the nations. Bye!
Bye, guys!
Have fun!